Looking for an alternative to your video editor, or you're just starting out? I have you covered. Go to CapCut.com, head over to Download for Windows. The CapCut icon will be placed on your desktop. Simply double click and you'll be greeted with this window. Go ahead and hit New Project. Alright, so this is your main interface. It's very simple. This is where all your media goes. This is your preview windows. I'll explain this later because this is basically your attributes and this is your timeline down here. I'll explain all of this as we go on. First thing we want to do is bring in some media. CapCut will automatically adjust whether it's a vertical or horizontal. For example, or as an absolute beginner, I will get you started right up to the export to your social media. So click and drag your footage onto the timeline. One of the first things you could do is zoom in on this timeline. We can do that simply by using this little icon here, zoom to fit. If you want to zoom in even more, we can use this little slider here. You can really zoom in as much as you want. Let's go back to zoom to fit. So the first thing we want to do is trim unnecessary parts of the video. I'm going to use the slider again. I'm going to zoom right in, and underneath here I can see there's a lot of wasted time here. The wave format tells me that I'm not saying anything here, so I can easily trim off that excess. Click and drag the scrubber to the part where you can just start to see the wave format. And then we use this little icon here, which is basically your cutting tool. Click and then delete, and the whole timeline will automatically snap back to the beginning. We can also use our cursor to make quick trims. We simply bring the cursor right to the beginning or the end of the timeline. It turns into an icon, left or right arrow, click and drag to the desired length. And we can do that on either side. Another one we can do as well is use these ones up here. Let's say, for instance, you want to make a cut here, but you don't want anything on the left, just on the right. You can use this icon, delete left. Same with delete right. So let's do that. Delete right. There you go. To add text, it's done quite simple actually. We simply go over to the menu here and we hit text. We stay in the default setting. We move our cursor over to default text. You'll see a plus sign. Click on this once and it will add it to your timeline. Depending on where your scrubber is where the text will be added. It does not matter because you can still afterwards click and drag it to anywhere you want. You can resize it by using these little end nodes here. Now if you do highlight it, you can then go into the text default here and change to whatever you need. So for now, let's just change this to grips. Once you have grips, you have all the options here in your text attributes to resize it or change the font or whatever you want to do. And you can also have some effects on how it looks. Let's keep it simple for now. If you do wish to have this at the start of the video with not an overlay as like an intro, what we'll need to do is uncheck this icon here. By default, it'll be like this. This is the magnet. Uncheck this, but I would recommend turning on this one, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now that you've turned off the magnet, you can click and drag, and it will not snap back to the beginning. Now you've created a text with a black background for the start of your video. The reason why you want to keep this one, which is snapping, as you bring in more footage, watch what happens. If I leave it here, as you can see, it does not snap back. But if we start bringing it closer and closer, it will then automatically snap. If I did not have this on, I've got chances of actually overlapping the video. This is not what we want. Again, I would highly recommend this one if you're using this feature here. Next, we're going to be looking at color grading or color correction. Most likely your footage needs some form of adjustments, and there's two ways to do this. The simplest way is go into the menu, filters. Here we get a multitude of options that we can make our footage look different. Let's have a look at a few examples. All we need to do is click it once. Bioavailability, which means bioavailability, which means bioavailability. And as you can see, it will play a small preview. Let's say, for instance, I like this look here. Bioavailability, which means. Okay, all I need to do is hit that plus icon. Now what I want to do is drag it to the beginning of the video, and then I can drag it all the way to the end. So you can have different color concepts across multiple clips. If I like this look, but I want it not as strong, I can just turn down the strength or increase it to the desired look. The second way we can do this, highlight your footage and go over into the adjustments. We have a LUT, which we can use as a color grade as well. All we need to do is drag our mouse over to the desired look. If we do not want to use a LUT, we can just drag this down, and then we can actually choose simply by dragging these sliders here, brightness and contrast. If you are into color grading, we can go even further. HSL, curves, and color wheel. But since you are an absolute beginner, I would recommend to stay with the filters and just adjusting the strength. People are willing to sit through bad video as long as the audio is good. So let's take a look at audio. We can actually separate the audio from the clip. Let's do that. Extract audio, and this just allows you to see the wave format better. But as you're an absolute beginner, let's keep it simple. Highlight the clip, go over to the menus here and hit audio. One of the first things I would highly recommend is use this little icon here or this little tab, noise reduction. If I play the clip now and utilize it, now hit, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I can hear a lot of hissing and humming and also little clicks and clacks from my chair. I hit noise reduction and all of this will disappear. Let's play this again. Here's what magnesium glycinate does. Now to me that is very crisp and clear to understand. You may also adjust the volume just by using the slider here, up or down. If you wish to add subtitles to your project, CapCut does an excellent job. Again, go into the menus, hit text. Over here you will see auto captions, hit create. Your subtitles will be placed on a track above your main track. You can simply click and drag this so you can see exactly what the text is doing. You can listen to it. And for its highest bioavailability, if you see a spelling mistake, simply click on that track, go into the basics here, and you can make the adjustment over here. While you're in the basic, you can actually change the color, font, and also the size. You can use also preset style. Let's use this one here for as an example. And this will be automatically applied across to all the subtitles. If you only want to apply to a particular part, you can go over here, apply to all. If you don't want that, uncheck this. We also have templates over here, and this has little effects like typewriter effect. Let's go over here. So as I speak the words, it types it across the screen. Let's have a look. Now, here's what magnesium glycinate does. Right. Now, if you want to use the other effects, you must cancel this one here. Simply hit this icon here. Let's go over to the effects, and this will give you a host and host of preset styles. Let's take this one, for example. And there you go. You can actually just move this around to anywhere you want, but if you move one, if it's applied to all, you move all the ones at the same location. If you wish to add a soundtrack to your project, you can import that through the media window, or you can go into the audio tab here, and CapCut actually provides a pretty decent audio library. You can simply have a quick listen to it. You can actually see the duration right here, 31 seconds, 30 seconds. So if you're after something in particular, and if you like it, hit the plus icon, and this will apply it exactly where you left the cursor or your scrubber, and just click and drag it to your desired location. Have a quick listen. Right, Halloween's not exactly what we want. Anyway, let's undo that. For your media one, we can just simply, let's delete this one. If you want to use your own one, you can click and drag it like so, or you hit the plus icon. Let's add a transition to our project. Simply go over to the menu tabs, transition, and there you'll see plenty of transitions available. We can also do a preview before we apply it. Simply just click it once. So, magnesium is. If we like this, we just hit the little plus icon. There's no need for your scrubber to be exactly in the middle. It will apply it between the two clips. Let's have a quick preview. Magnesium is used. And there you go. Once you are happy with your project, the final step would be to export. We go over here to the export tab, hit it once. The attribute window will pop up, a title and where you want to export it to. The video or the quality is the resolution. If you want to have a look at that, it's 480 right up to 4K. However, if you shot your video in 1080 and you render at 4K, it will be 1080. You can go down, but you cannot go up. Another thing I should mention, there's two versions, a free and paid version. Anytime you see an icon at the top like this, pro version, it means you need to pay for this. Let's go back into the export. The reason why I mention this, if you're using the caption, it's part of the paid version, but you will see here pro, and there'll be a message here, pro benefits too. If you have not paid for the pro version, as you export it, these will not be applied. So this is your absolute beginner's guide to using CapCut. If you like this video, please leave a like. This will make YouTube share it out to more people. And as always, thanks for watching.